Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everybody. And this is Denzomos. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for clicking on this page. And I welcome you to the page of truth, page of enlightenment, page of freedom, and the page of breaking empathy free. Now, for the new ones who are just coming in and narcissism resonates with you, I will encourage you to take a moment, and I welcome you to take a moment, just like, share, and subscribe, and join our tribe. So for the ones who have always been with me, thank you for being part of this tribe, wonderful, beautiful tribe, and I thank you for all your love and support. Now, basically, I want to talk about decluttering today, because every now and then I've mentioned something about decluttering, but it's just because I didn't go into the details of what exactly decluttering is. And there's also a couple of my subscribers that have every now and then told about the decluttering process, because normally I talk with people who are healing, people who have been in abuse, and they are trying to get themselves back together. They're on their healing journey. So I've talked every now and then with people who have gotten in touch with me, and I've helped them with that issue of the healing. So now, basically, what I understood after my awakening, I came to the realization that all this relationship with the narcissist, entanglement, relationship, or whatever, situationship, everything had always been involved with energy. So it was all about energy. That is why they have called them energy vampires, because they are sucking the energy out of us. And then I also reflected in those days. I reflected and I thought that, okay, so that is for some reason why all of a sudden I used to feel very bad about myself. I used to all of a sudden enter the house and I would pick up on all this energy in the room. So it's like somebody walks in and you do not know why anytime they're walking in, you're feeling the vibe in the house, you're feeling the vibe in the room, you're feeling that toxic energy, you can feel that toxicity in that house. So in those days, it didn't make sense to me because I was not familiar with narcissism. But my awakening, it brought me to a very big realization. And all of a sudden, gradually, that was around 2019, somewhere towards the end of 2019. I just came back all of a sudden at home, and I looked around me. So it's like in those days, my mind was still disorganized. So when you've just left the narcissist, you're starting to pick up all the pieces, you're starting to put all the pieces together, you're starting to rebuild yourself, you're starting to get in touch with yourself, you're starting to remember who you are. So you're adding up a lot of pieces and trying to get back yourself together and get your energy in place. So one morning, all of a sudden I came home, and I looked around me. I looked around me, and I realized that there were some things I was looking at, the things I had in that time when I left the narcissist. So most of my belongings, properties, or even sometime on the social media platforms, most of the things that was involved in narcissist, I used to realize that actually, whenever I got involved, whether I was touching those things, whether I was looking at them, whether I was thinking about them, they were also still draining my energy. Of course, I had healed and I had made a decision that I was going to leave. After the discard, I made a very strong decision that I was going to leave permanently. But every now and then, I would get triggered. Out of nowhere, I get the triggers, and I don't know. I could pick up on these energies, and I didn't know where the energies were coming from. So all of a sudden, my intuition just told me, okay, so you know what? You need to look around you. So what I did, I started opening the shelves, all the shelves in the house. I opened the shelves. I opened all my suitcases. I opened all my drawers. I checked under the bed. I checked each and every spot in my house. And that is when I realized that there was some of those things that me and the narcissist shared. We had some things in common, me and the ex-narcissist. For me to understand that actually this is where the energy was coming from, the moment I would lay eyes on those things, I would feel very bad. I would feel as if somebody has just sucked energy out of me. So I would feel very negative about those things. Now, what am I talking about? Those are the things, for example, there was a dinner dress, there was a special cloth you guys wore when you were going on a dinner with your ex-narcissist. Then I looked around, maybe there were some shoes you had, there was a wedding day. You guys had a wedding day, and there were some shoes you used on that wedding day. I looked in my cupboards. I found some paperwork, some documents. I found some old pictures. I found some. So there was all those things that actually I had got. I had the things I had always been hanging on, and those things had always been had involved me and the narcissist. So maybe those were the clothes I used to wear when we were going on dinners, the shoes I wore in my wedding, the rings, some of the rings, you know. Those things are very small things, people. They are very small things. They may not even make sense. And I was thinking in my mind, okay, so why don't I get rid of these things? Because at the moment, I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to forget. I'm trying to build new memories. I'm trying to put my life in place. I'm trying to move forward. So why am I hanging on to these old energies? So one by one, I got a very big bag, and I started dropping all these things. There was those clothes, they would remind me of those relationships and whatever. I'll just throw everything in the bag, whatever, necklaces, rings, and, well, you know, shoes and whatever. So all the things that I knew, maybe if I'd got them from the narcissist, or maybe there were some of those things we used to use as a couple or whatever in the relationship. In this moment, I'm talking about the relationship. I got rid of all those things. I bagged them. I didn't even give them to charity. I bagged most of them and I threw them out in the bin. And people, what I did next was cleaning the whole house. So I cleaned the whole house. It's like I turned the house upside down. I started very, very strongly cleaning the house. Believe me, people, from that day forward, everything changed. The next morning, actually even that night when I went to sleep, I was feeling very good. I was feeling very light. I was feeling very good. And from that day forward until today, my life has never been the same. So the reason why I'm trying to tell you, giving you this trick of the decluttering, giving you this tip of decluttering, is very, very important, people, because most of the times you will find that you have left the narcissist. Every now and then you're on your phone, and then all of a sudden you're checking your Facebook, then you're seeing your old pictures, the time when you were on a holiday. All of a sudden you're seeing some photographs from the last vacation, you're seeing some photographs of you and the narcissist having a good time in the restaurant. You're looking at the pictures, and those pictures are causing a trigger in you. That is why most of the times, when we've told you guys to go no contact, it's not only about no contact. No contact, yes, it does mean that you are stopping to contact the narcissist. But it does not end there. When you're talking about no contact, you are also excluding anything that is relating with the narcissist, whether it is their photographs. Like I went on my Facebook in those days, I deleted all the photos we had. Believe me, people, when you do that, when you understand how energy works, you are going to understand that most of these triggers, most of these things, the memories you've had, because like I've always mentioned in my videos, each and everything is energy. Your thoughts are energy. Photographs are energy. Clothes, even we ourselves as individuals, we are consciousness. So when you understand that this is energy, each and everything around us, including ourselves, we are all energy, you understand that there are some energies that are good and some energies that are bad. And most of the time when you're in a healing process, you want to make sure that you're hanging on to the good energies, the energies that are going to create for you good memories, the energies that you're not going to look at a picture and all of a sudden you get triggered. You start getting miserable. You start thinking about your ex-narcissist. You start thinking about how you miss them. You're looking on their phone numbers. You're looking on the photographs on your media platforms. You're looking at the rings they bought you. You're looking at the jewelry. You're looking at the bracelets. You're looking at the dresses, the shoes, and each and everything they have ever bought from you. Now, people, you need to understand that when you're dealing with a narcissist, you are dealing with something very spiritual. So the thing that came to my realization was that I had got to, in those days, I had to let all these things go. And in that time, I didn't even know. I was not very conscious about what was going on, but I took it like an experiment. I said, I'm going to try this and I'm going to see how it's going to work. Believe me, people, from that day forward, my life has never been the same. I accelerated, my healing actually accelerated. Each and every single day that went on, I was feeling more and more better about myself. So decluttering in its own is a very important thing. If you've left the narcissist, you also want to make sure you are going to start creating new memories. And you should also take very, very close attention to the things you are trying to get rid of. Maybe you have got a gold necklace, maybe you have got a bracelet, a golden bracelet or whatever, a diamond bracelet from your narcissist or whatever. Anytime you feel that you are hurting to let something go, maybe there is something you have from the ex-narcissist, and that thing you're still hanging on to that thing even after leaving the narcissist. Anytime when you see yourself that you actually cannot let that thing go, that is what will show you that actually that is the exact thing that is holding that energy. When you're having a problem letting something go, something you know that you got from your ex-narcissist, that is where you're going to find that actually it's even painful to let it go. That is when you're going to know that is exactly what has been holding on. That is the exact energy you've been holding on to for all this time. So most of the time, it is going to be, sometimes it can be very painful. I've always mentioned in my videos that when you start to get reading some of these things, it is going to be painful because you've been used to these things. But these things, you no longer identify with things from the narcissist. What you want to do and what you're planning to do next is starting to create new memories. You can go and start to buy yourself new clothes. You can go and buy yourself a new pair of shoes. You can even love yourself enough to go and buy yourself jewelry. You can love yourself enough to go and buy yourself a new watch, a new necklace, jewelry, whatever. You can always now start to introduce new memories, clean memories, memories that are not associated with somebody who was toxic, and a toxic individual for this matter. So for the most of us, you see, the people you see online, most of the people you see online that have healed from narcissistic abuse, many of us have gone through this process. We have gotten rid of all those materials from the ex-narcissist, the things that used to identify us with the narcissists. We have gotten rid of them. And we have started to create a new environment and surround ourselves with a new environment. So you have to look around your house very, very closely and attentively. Double check each and everything. Around your bed, even as you go to sleep, look on your bed, on your bedside. What are you keeping on your bedside? You need to declutter everything. You want to make sure that each and everything around you, you have good breathing space. You're not going to wake up in the morning and the first thing you're going to look at is the watch that you got from the ex-narcissist. You're not going to wake up in the morning and you look at the perfume that you got from the ex-narcissist. All those things have got to go. Maybe they left a piece of cloth in your bag or whatever, in your suitcase. You find it, you have got to let it go. Each and everything that involves the narcissist is very important, people, to let it go. Why am I saying like this? Because everything around us is energy. The energies you want to keep around you, they are the energies, those things that you want to create for yourself. They are new things. You have introduced new things in your life. You have got nothing to do with the things that used to identify you before with the narcissist. Of course, there can be some things like a couple of documents you might want to keep because maybe some of you're going to go through a divorce. So you want to package some of those things, the most important documents you need, like marriage certificates or whatever, some of those things that you know that you might need as some of the evidence in court, or maybe sometime you have video recordings or maybe some audio recordings. You want to package those things and keep them away, a place that you cannot see them until they are needed. Maybe they're needed by a lawyer, maybe they're needed in court, maybe they're needed as evidence. Those are the things you can always keep away safely until you can introduce them to whoever needs them. And then after that, you're getting rid of them. So that's how it works in this process. I just want to talk about decluttering. Very important, because decluttering is one of the things that can always accelerate your healing. It has worked for me, and I'm giving you this trick because I believe it can also work for you. You can always try. There's nothing wrong with trying. You can always try. Look around you, people. It's very important. You are healing. You have been in an abusive relationship. You have been in a toxic relationship. So you're now starting to be aware of the energies around you, the things you want to keep around you, the things you want to identify with. But those things, particularly, if they have involved your ex-narcissist, it's very important that most of those things, when you're keeping them around you, they are always going to bring out those triggers from your relationship. And it can hinder your healing process. So that is the secret. When you're keeping those energies with you, they can hinder your process, your healing process, because you are looking at them, the photographs, even on Facebook, media, online platforms or whatever. Photographs, you look at the photo, they trigger you. You're looking at bracelets, they trigger you. Clothes, they trigger you. Each and everything you look at, it is triggering you. I know some people who have gone to the extent, even sometimes they have got to sell off their cars. Because of course, at the end of the day, you're sitting in the car. But that is the car you've been driving in with the ex-narcissist for the last 10 years. So some people have gone to the extreme of having to sell off those cars and replace them with other cars. So most of the time, it's very important, people, look around you. There is always energies that involve this narcissist. When you get rid of those energies, I can guarantee you people, it is going to accelerate your healing process. Other than that, people, much love and blessings. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have a question, get to me. My email is also down there, and I'll get in touch with you soon. Much love and blessings. And Denzomo signing out.